The PCA 2018 bubble didn't disappoint. We saw short stacks survive.
Barry Greenstein with pocket eights, and he has been called by pocket aces. The river is an eight, so we have a double up.
Meanwhile, the big stacks got busy.
Only
I show you, you show me?
you will see.
Oh, like on TV?
I had to be aggressive because it was bubble time, and I had a huge stack, so it's the way that I had to play.
Until
We have an all-in and a call in the main event.
Nelyuba needs a heart to survive.
And the river is a three of clubs. So everybody's in the money in the PCA 2018.
now the bubbles burst, players look to take control of the main event.
Grande parte do dia como chip leader do torneio, a partir do momento que eu me diverti mais com o jogo, deixei a pressão um pouco de lado.
I ran pretty hot during the bubble, but I think it's wrong to have any major plans other than get my A-game on.
The mission to make the money is over. The pursuit for PCA glory has just begun. Welcome to the Bahamas, where day 3 of the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event continues inside the Atlantis Resort and Casino on Paradise Island.
Hello once again, it's James Hartigan with Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies.
Joe, that was a super slow bubble, so I predict an epic post-bubble bust-out bonanza.
Players are going to be going down so fast, you're going to wonder if this tournament was written by George R.R. Martin.
I'm also excited to see what drama we get on our new feature table.
Where Liv Boeree is table boss with a top 10 stack of over 500k. Jonathan West, who was in the top 3 for most of day 2, is still going strong and is a potential threat. We've also got a couple of EPT regulars, Vladimir Cha Offski and Raman Hajiev.
Yeah, but they are both reasonably short, under 20 big blinds for each of those guys.
So a lot of potential for action at our new feature table, and Liv Boeree is excited to take her seat on the main stage.
This thing is the biggest stage I've ever seen, not just in poker, just in anything. It's like Lady Gaga would desire to play on that stage. It's so big. I cannot wait.
Well, Vladimir Cha Offski is no stranger to the lights and cameras. Over the years, he's made the final table of all 3 PCA majors. But looking to overcome experience with aggression is chess prodigy Jonathan West.
Going on the feature table, I probably try not to do anything too absurd and like get way out of line. But my game is pretty aggressive, so it'd be weird to just stop.
87 players remain in the main event as we restart the action here on day 3. The biggest stack in the room belongs to this guy, Oleg Titov, who takes a seat at our secondary feature table, where he's joined by EPT Monte Carlo 2015 champion Adrian Mateos.
Buenos dias, Adrian.
Out on the field, this Brazilian online qualifier, Vladimir Brito.
Glad to be here, everybody. Glad to be here.
We saw Maria Lampropoulou build up a decent stack at the feature table during the bubble.
Lamb props for that bubble play.
And the other Maria, Platinum Pass winner Maria Konnikova, secured her first main event cash, and she's only been playing poker for a year. Everyone is guaranteed at least $17,500. There is $1 million up top. And we're getting cards in the air for the second half of day 3. The blinds right now, 2,500, 5,000 with a 500 ante. Action folded to Jonathan West, who has ace-jack.
12.
And he raises. Queen 9 of diamonds for Hajiev. He folds. Scott Wilson from Canada is on the button with Jack 10 of diamonds.
Scott from Canada. Hey, buddy.
Call.
He's in.
His stack is not big enough to play this hand at all, not even in position.
Sure.
Liv Boeree folds the small blind. Vladimir Cha Offski has King 5 in the big blind.
And even though King 5 out of position looks worse than Jack 10 suited in position, trust me, this call is fine.
Three-way to the flop. Top pair for Vlad. Second pair for Weston Wilson. A continuation bet of 9,000 from Jonathan West.
Don't do it, guy.
I'm not one.
And Scott Wilson shoves with the worst of it.
Oh, buddy. It's just another reason you shouldn't be playing this hand pre-flop. You've got no fold equity now. Obviously, top pair is calling, and I don't even think second pair is going to fold.
Troinovsky counts out the call and makes the call. Action back on West.
Call.
He calls as well. Wilson all in and at risk. We could see action on the side between Troinovsky and West. The turn card is a 9. And Troinovsky shoves.
Easy shove.
And a fold from West.
I got outs. Fill that in, give me jack, do whatever.
Canadians.
Wilson looking for the case jack or a 7, 10, or queen.
That will not do it.
Correct.
All the best, everyone. You too?
Wilson! Wilson!
Scott cashes out in 78th place for $17,500.
It's funny the way you played it. I had I had ace jack.
Ace jack.
It dodged a semi-bullet, you know.
If I show from the flop, you call.
No, that's crazy.
Vlad doesn't know karate, but he does know crazy. He might actually know karate. I'm not sure.
Well, right now, payers are being played 17.5 grand. As with any major poker tournament, the big money is up top. Six-figure scores for the final tablists, with more than $1 million for the eventual champion. And we have got a three-way all-in at one of the outer tables. Barry Greenstein is at risk, as is online qualifier Stephen John Jost. Ivan Zechev has them both covered.
Steven Ivan Zechev.
Barry with the best hand. Jack high and a gut shot.
That's not good.
It's certainly not good for Stephen John Jost. The turn card is a queen. Barry still ahead.
6. 6 is good. No, 6. 6 is good for you as well.
It's a 4.
10. Jack high wins.
It does indeed, and that will see the elimination of Stephen John Jost. He is out in 74th place. Brutal.
Good game, guys. Good luck. Good luck, guys. It was really exciting.
It may just be a min cash, but it's all gravy when you qualified online. Let's head over to our secondary feature table, where Oleg Titov has opened with aces and been called by 2 players. Andrei Lubovetsky with ace-queen and Daniel Kupel with pocket 5s.
There's a 5.
In the window, a set for Kupel.
What do you got there, Daniel? Kupel of 5s?
He leads the flop, 17,000.
And the flop lead is polarizing. Usually the person leading is looking for a fold or a raise.
45.
Titov with his overpair raises to 45,000, gets a fold from Lubovetsky.
Huh.
Action back on Kupel.
I'm all in.
He shoves for 150K.
I know no one's going to believe this, but I can honestly say I would fold aces here.
Titov calls.
Sort of 5, of course.
I'll probably get aces. Ace on the turn, ace on the river.
Hey, come on.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Always. Probably. There's a big chance you're in.
A 91% chance.
People just get overly attached to aces.
A 10 on the turn. Daniel Kupel just has to fade the case ace on the river to survive. it's the case 5.
Godzilla. 2 pair.
That's annoying.
Kupel doubles up through Titov.
I told you I never win from ahead.
Even a language barrier isn't enough to stop a poker player from complaining about getting unlucky.
Well, that hand sees Titov drop to second place on the leaderboard. Vladimir Brito is now chip leader. And Victor Ramden's all in.
We chop them, okay?
We chopping, broccoli. Hey.
Ace deuce against ace 5. Ace 5 ahead.
Come on, let's chop this up, man.
Holy blockers, Batman.
10 cards, a 10.
And deuce, okay?
Oh my god, this is sick.
And deuce.
Board pairs on the river. Ace 5 holds.
That's so gross, bro.
Nice hold.
Good luck, everyone.
Cheers.
Victor Ramden eliminated. He busts in 69th place.
Rammed in, more like rammed out.
Frustrating not to chop there, but hey, he managed to spin his short stack into a cash of $19,760. The sun is setting here on day 3 of the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event, where we've already lost 20 players since bursting the bubble. As the field shrinks, players get moved around, and it seems that chip leader Vladimir Brito has landed himself a seat at the main feature table.
Oh, look at this chip.
No way.
Personal delivery service.
Vamos, caceta.
Vladimir currently playing a stack of 890,000 and still being railed by his wife Samara.
You see this lady here, just like got her phone up filming.
Yeah.
She spun $1 million spin and go and won it. Her boyfriend's still in apparently. But yeah, she won $1 million spin and go.
No, she's my wife.
Is that your wife?
Yeah, my wife.
She won the spin and go?
She won a spin and go?
Yeah, really, $5.
It was the first one. Next day, Marcos, which is also our friend, the next day, he won $1 million as well. 2
Yeah.
for Brazil in 2 days. He's here as well, huh?
I have the movie.
Of course, huh?
I have the movie.
By movie, he means video, unless they've already turned it into a movie.
Brito the motion picture, now available on VHS.
Nicolas Cage hasn't been anything for 5 minutes.
Action has been folded to Jonathan West, who's got pocket 9s. He raises to 12,000.
Really?
Really?
That's a terrible bad word in Portuguese we should not ever mention, huh?
Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
It's like ass.
You could say
Yeah.
ass. It means ass. It's so funny.
ass.
I have 2 asses. Pocket asses. Perfect.
So am I allowed to comment on this, or?
Folded around to Vladimir Cha Offski in the big blind.
Take that as a no.
Queen 3 of diamonds. He calls, and these two will go heads up to the flop. Jack 10 deuce.
Not an automatic C-bet on this flop.
Well, West does continue for 10,000.
Pretty small. I assume he doesn't really want to call.
He's got the best hand. An 86% favorite to win. Ooh, a cheeky check raise from Vlad, 26,500.
And this could very well work.
It does work.
See ya.
Folded the backdoor straight flush draw.
I have nothing.
Wow.
Nothing is
Absolutely.
You know that
Absolutely nothing?
factory is...
Absolutely.
He can breathe a sigh of relief now that that bluff worked. Vlad the Inhaler.
Wow, that just happened. Out in the field, former EPT champ Kevin McPhee has just been KO'd by Maria Lampropoulou. Kevin, our 67th place finisher.
Kevin McPheel's bad man.
And Maria Lampropoulou now playing a stack of 810,000. 162 big blinds. She is currently second in chips. She sits behind Vladimir Brito on the leaderboard. Oleg Titov and David Peters are both still in the top 5. And rounding off the top 10 is Boeree. She has a 95 big blind stack. Well, out in the field is Maria Lampropoulou's partner Ivan Luca, who final tabled the super high roller a few days ago. Meanwhile, the last remaining former PCA winner, Harrison Gimbel, is clinging on with a stack of 49,000. That's still more chips than Spanish pro Leo gets.
Suerte. Good luck on. Ciao. Bye.
She's been sent to the rail in 65th place. Back to the feature table, where Vlad has opened in early position with ace-jack. Action on Jonathan West, who's got kings.
Okay.
Re-raise coming. A 3-bet to 28,000. Vladimir Brito has ace-10 suited in the big blind.
I know what you're thinking. He's got a royal flush draw. He does, but no.
Yeah, I mean, the king and jack aren't live.
Exactly.
He folds. Action back on the original razor. Troyanovsky shoves.
He does know crazy.
And Jonathan West calls, putting Vlad at risk. He's a 77% favorite to eliminate Troyanovsky. The flop is all spades.
Oh.
And Vlad has the ace of spades.
Never easy, huh?
It is never easy.
It's never easy.
Well, it's pretty easy when they have it.
5 of clubs on the turn. Troyanovsky still has 10 outs. 10 cards he can hit to survive.
Jonathan looking for red paint.
Deuce of clubs is a brick. Troyanovsky, busto.
Time for Vlad the Inhaler to march his way. Do you know how hard it is to come up with stuff for that guy?
He is our 63rd place finisher. Cashes out for just shy of 20K.
Jonathan West, one of the best.
Now has more than $500,000. Well, Joe, we need to check in on Sockhead, who rather confusingly no longer has a sock on his head. Roman Vicharek is all in and at risk, dominated by Corey Aldemir. Pocket fives against pocket jacks.
Aldemir about to send Vicharek out of here.
No 5 on the flop. Or turn. Or river.
Should have stayed true to yourself, Sockhead. I don't even recognize you anymore.
The man who tried to rebrand himself as Hathead is out in 61st place. And Corey Aldemir now has close to $500,000. Well, over at the secondary feature table, it's Titov against Kupel once again. We pick up the action on the turn. Kupel, an 86% favorite with deuces.
Kupla deuces, Kupla twos.
Daniel is a Canadian farmer who qualified online. He bet 16,000.
Not a big bet. Lots of draws out there.
Titov, with just ace high, calls. The river card. Deuce, a set for Kupel.
Bazinga.
Now he can bet like he means it. Close to pot, 60K.
Now, a call here would actually kind of make sense. All the draws miss. There aren't a ton of hands Kupel could bet turn and river for value with.
Titov calls. And he's lost to another set. He is 0-2 against Kupel today.
Aw, what a cute Kupel.
And Titov may be tilting, but he's still a top 5 stack. We're close to 730,000.
My name is Oleg Titov. I am from Irkutsk, Russia. I play poker many years, but not as my profession. I'm shareholder in internet service provider, so internet is my job. I've been here many times for holiday. One time I win here small tournament for $30,000. So everything can happen. I'm just trying to play some good hands. If I win, you can see maybe trophy.
We should start running poker tournaments like internet service providers. You could have a starting stack up to 30,000 in chips.
And 90% of the field would actually get like 5,000, right?
Right, depending on how many people enter.
Back at the main feature table, actions on Vladimir Brito. The qualifier's got kings.
Oh, hello.
30.
He raises. Boeree has ace-queen.
Oh, hell no.
Raise.
She re-raises. A 3-bet to 32,000. Folded around to the blinds. Jonathan West gives up the small. Philip Corian with pocket tens in the bag. Thinking about it.
Big pocket pairs come around so rarely. Tough to let them go. Nice one.
So back on Brito. Counting out a re-raise. A 4-bet to 83,000.
This could be trouble if Liv decides she wants to her and let die.
She folds.
Wow.
Nice hand.
Kings.
You have kings?
Don't lie now.
Ace queen.
Kings. Really? Yeah. Red kings.
He must have some tight reputation.
He now has 3 times the tournament average. Well, we saw earlier that PCA 2010 champ Harrison Gimble was super short, and now he is out.
He's being called away to fight crime in Gotham City. The commissioner has illuminated the Gimble symbol.
Random, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, we'll just wait for this one. Are you sure Michael Farrow's name isn't Michael F. Arrow? Because he just showed Harrison Gimble which way to go.
Wow. I didn't like that one. Staying out in the field, Maria Konnikova has called Marco Alves's all-in, and she has a ton of outs. He does not hit on the river, and Marco doubles up.
Brick City.
Maria Konnikova now playing a below-average stack. A bit of a blow to the first Platinum Pass winner of 2018. Yes, she will be back in the Bahamas next year for the Players' Championship, set to be the biggest $25,000 tournament in poker history. And you could win free entry to this event by playing live or online. Find out how to qualify at PokerStars. Here in the Bahamas, the post-bubble bust-out bonanza is in full swing at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event. And during the break, we lost both Roman Hajiev and Ricardo Neto from the feature table.
Thank you, guys. Good game.
That means we've got a couple of new players, a couple of familiar faces taking their seats on the main stage. Let's head over to the analyst desk and Richard Orford and Griffin Benja for a closer look at our new arrivals.
Thanks very much, James. Let's have a look at the feature table chip counts right now as we have them. And Barry Greenstein is going to be on our main TV table there. He will be coming on as the short stack, though. And ironically, the chip leader, Leader B, is probably the most inexperienced player at the table.
Yeah, he has been definitely fun to watch. This is a great table. David Peters, one of the best players in the world. Liv Boeree, obviously such a huge pedigree.
And Jonathan West?
West has shown to be a pretty interesting player. Aggressive, sort of feeling kind of game. I think the players from more of a experienced background will see some of the things he's doing is kind of leaky or exploitable. The fact that he's doing them in an aggressive manner, can make him very effective and get him involved in taking down a lot of pots.
Okay, thanks very much, Griffin. Let's go back to the commentary booth.
Thank you, chaps. New level of the main event. Blinds are now 3,000, 6,000 with a 1,000 ante. And, hashtag fun fact, there's a new chip in play. It's the green chip, worth 25K.
Ooh.
Action here is on Jonathan West. Griffin was just talking about his aggressive style. Tell you what, Joe, let's play this hand from his perspective. We're only going to see his whole cards. We're going to sweat with Jonathan.
He also said Jonathan was leaky and exploitable. Thanks, but no thanks. All right, I'll do it.
A raise to 13,000. David Peters has folded. Qualifier Gledeby Brito. Gets out of the way. Liv gives up the button. Oliver Weiss folds the small blind, but Barry Greenstein defends his big blind.
Speaking of leaky and exploitable. Just kidding, Barry, just kidding.
The flop is Queen 10-5. Action check to West.
I'll take a C bet here. If we can get Barry to fold decent equity or even a slightly better hand, that's what we want.
The continuation bet is 11,000. Greenstein calls.
Look at us C betting into the guy who invented the C bet.
3 of clubs on the turn.
Did you know nobody ever continuation bet before Barry Greenstein?
I have heard a rumor. Action goes check, check. The river is the queen of clubs, pairing the board.
Bear.
58,000 in the middle. And Barry leads the river for 27K.
Barry's bet pretty small here. We played it pretty weak, so I think a call is reasonable. I wish it were more exciting than that, but sometimes that's just how it goes down.
Jonathan West does call with just ace high. Barry tables 8-7 of hearts for a busted flush draw. Ace high's good.
Oh, Barry. Nice try, Barry. Nice try.
Jonathan West adds 60K to his stack. He's been playing a pretty strong game the last 2 days. He now has a stack of more than 600,000.
I'm Jonathan West. I'm 27. I'm from New York, and I work in cryptocurrencies. So I grew up playing competitive chess. I started that when I was 5. I got up to number 6 in the country when I was in 6th grade. I used to go to these tournaments all over America to compete in national championships. So I went to this tournament in Philadelphia called the World Open, and they were playing poker. You know, it was right around Chris Moneymaker, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and watch. And I watched, and I got really excited, and I'd stay up every night till 2 a.m. watching them play poker. And then, yeah, ever since, I just got into poker. I played for 1 year once I graduated college and moved into my trading job at Citi. My favorite poker tournament I ever played was this tournament in 2011. And it was right after I had had a good little run online, and I had just had my very first 6-figure score. Came to the Bahamas and immediately blew all my money. You know, I was 20 years old, going from cloud 9 to like busting it all. And it really changed my life and made me appreciate risk and risk tolerance and, you know, pushing things too much. So it's just really full circle to be back. I came down here just to come have fun, take a little break from work, and just, you know, go with it.
Jonathan seems well suited for cryptocurrency. He already knows what it feels like to go broke.
Well, over to the secondary featured table where it's Titov versus Kupel again. Titov with a pair of 9s. Kupel way ahead with a pair of jacks.
Titov looks teed off.
Kupel bets with the best hand, 50,000.
Looking frustrated over here. Frustrated and losing are two things that don't make for a very good poker player.
That is a raise to 110,000.
And they don't make for a very good bluff. This is not a very big raise. tiny, in fact. The teat bluff, teat raise is smaller than a teat mouse.
Kupel calls, and this hand is going to the river.
A lot of money in the middle.
So, Kupel improves to a straight, but there are now 4 hearts on the board. He checks to Titov, who only has a pair of 9s. And he shoves.
Wow, his frustration may actually help him here. The bad news is that a lot of the hands that are be calling the turn are going to have good hearts. The good news is, obviously, Kupel doesn't have one. So this is probably going to work.
It's all in to call for Kupel.
Just crazy enough to get the job done.
He folds the best hand.
Kupel doesn't like it one bit.
Titov now 1 and 2 against Kupel.
Not one bit.
Nice river again, yeah?
Either way, it was a good river for you, buddy.
A bold bluff from the Russian, and that moves him back up to 2nd place on the leaderboard. Let it be Brito is still chip leader with more than 940,000, while Jonathan West has now moved into the top 10 with a stack of just over 600K.
Top 10 zone!
Meanwhile, we have lost Ivan Luka from the main event.
Aww.
He's our 51st place finisher.
Look, he's even taking his banana peel with him. Bless.
Luka was eliminated by Christian Rudolph.
So familiar.
And the main event partnership of Ivan and Maria is over. But the mother and son partnership of Sharman and Aaron Olshan is still going, and they both made it into the last 50.
And I thought my mother was too much up in my business.
Back at the main feature table. Action on Barry Greenstein. He's under the gun. Pocket Kings.
It's Barry's turn with the Cowboys, and there they go.
All in for 42,000. Action now on David Peters, who's got ace-king. And he just calls.
Playing cautiously, he's super deep, and so is Brito.
Vladimir with pocket 7s.
Still looking okay for Boeree to not be eliminated.
Looks like Brito wants to get involved. And this is an interesting line from the Brazilian qualifier. He re-raises to 112,000.
It's a little reckless. I think he thinks when Peters just calls, he's not going to have much of a hand here. Little does he know, he's dealing with D. Peters, who I think is going to keep the same cautious line.
Yeah, he just calls. So we already have a significant side pot between Peters and Brito. Barry Greenstein all in and at risk, playing for the main pot. A Jack 9-3 flop. Peters checks. Brito bets pretty small, 65,000.
This isn't a good flop for ace-king, but the bet is so small that David can definitely peel one off.
He does call. The turn card is an ace. Bad news for Barry Greenstein.
Every time with kings, every time.
Peters now a 93% favorite. He checks once again to Brito.
Not sure why Brito is gonna beto.
135,000.
He's in pretty bad shape, especially for the main pot with Boeree all in.
Peters calls.
Boeree's got to be hating this.
He's dead unless the case king hits the river. It's a queen. We will be losing the bear. A check from Peters.
And Brito's going to have to bluff this super hard if he wants to win the side pot.
No, he checks it back. So David Peters wins the main pot and the side pot and eliminates Barry Greenstein, while Brito's just lost a third of his stack.
Greenstein, Gonstein.
Barry, our 47th place finisher, cashing for $22,020.
And D. Peters on yet another D. Peter.
He is the new chip leader with a stack of nearly 1.2 million.
No more Greenstein for us, but at least he's walking away with 22,000 greenbacks.
We're into the last level of day 3 of the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event, where David Peters has taken the chip lead after KOing Barry Greenstein. But Barry believes his fate could have been different.
It was pretty unfortunate, actually. The guy bet 65,000. So with such a small bet, David pretty much was forced to call. So his questionable play, unfortunately, cost me my tournament life. But that's, you know, that's the way it goes. You know, in some sense, I can't complain because I was lucky to get to that point.
Gotta love Boeree. Bill Hader, Henry Winkler, so good.
Out in the field, Michael Cameron has bet 39K on an ace-king-queen all-club flop. And Michael Farrow has called the clock on Maria Lampropoulou.
Ooh.
Time, please, table 2. Where's it at?
Here.
So this there,
She had enough time left on her hand?
Yes.
You have 30 seconds, young lady, and after that you get a 5-second countdown.
You heard the man. I ain't messing around.
Excuse me.
Should raise.
Oh.
I did not see that coming.
No. How much?
How much, sorry? 120. Raised to 120,000.
We got there in the end.
Michael Cameron looks confused. I don't blame him.
Who tank raises?
Well, he calls. Heads up to the turn with 333,000 in the middle. It's a 4th club, the deuce of clubs. Cameron checks. Maria checks behind. The river is the 4 of hearts.
A lot of noise on the flop. A lot of checking since then.
Check to showdown. 2 pair for Cameron. The flush for Maria Lampropoulou.
The flop flush.
Wow, that turn card saved Cameron some chips.
Sorry for the time.
It's okay.
Up to 910,000 now. And over at the secondary feature table, Oleg Titov's in action again, this time against Adrian Mateos. Top pair versus a straight draw. Mateos has bet 27,000 on the turn.
Cool.
Titov calls.
There was never any doubt.
The river card is a jack. Mateos gets there.
I was about to say it's weird seeing Titov with the best hand for once, but there you go.
An overbet from Mateos, 167,000.
And this is a dangerous spot for Titov, given how frustrated he seems. We've all been like, I had the best hand at one point. I'm calling.
Doesn't look overly happy about this situation. And he folds.
I don't know what that is.
Такой overbet там.
The Cougar bet down, what?
Good bet.
Thank you.
2 years ago, same bet is value.
Ooh, they've got history.
Where?
Malta.
Malta. How do you finish there?
No, it's not good.
Not good?
You bust me.
I finished 10th.
Yeah, I know.
Close.
You know, it's worth more than 10th place. Friendship.
Both players with decent stacks as day 3 draws to a close. Well, out in the field, there is a huge all-in, set over set sickness. Aces for Carl Stark, 6s for Vladimir Cha.
Carl Stark, Swedish Iron Man, built himself a wooden suit using money from his flat pack furniture fortune.
No help for Cha on the turn. He needs the case 6 on the river to survive. He does not hit. Cha eliminated in 46th place.
Come on, Chabal out. That's an easy one.
And Carl Stark now vying for the chip lead with a stack of 1.148 million.
Jarvis, deploy the Malmo bookcase.
Last hand of the night. Action on Jonathan West.
He's just starting to get warmed up.
King Jack of clubs. West raises under the gun to 12,000. Ace Jack for David Peters.
Too strong to fold, not strong enough to 3-bet an under the gun raiser.
Ace 10 for Vladimir Brito. He calls as well. Liv Boeree with King 3 of hearts on the button.
And getting some okay pot odds, assuming no one 3-bets behind her.
She calls as well. Oliver Weiss folds the small blind. Lucas Blanco is in the big blind. He's got a piece of cheese, 9 deuce.
One of the worst hands you can wake up with here, but come on. 6,000 wins 64,000, come on. Come on. Come on.
He calls, and we have 5-way action at the feature table.
I love it 5 ways, nice.
The flop is 10-4 deuce. Top for Brito.
How does he do it?
Action check to West, who was the pre-flop aggressor. He continues for 20,000.
He's got a lot of backdoor possibilities.
David Peters has folded. Brito calls.
Yes, much like the term influencer, top is going nowhere.
Boeree and Blanco have both folded. Heads up to the turn. 7 of clubs, and West picks up a flush draw.
That is one of those good backdoors I was talking about.
He fires a second barrel, 55,000. Brito is a 71% favorite here. And he calls. The river. It's not a club, but it is a king. West takes the lead.
Such a good card for West. Probably the best card.
220,000 in the middle. West bets 65,000 for value.
West's got an aggressive image. This bet is not for a whole lot of chips. And ace-10 is going to be good sometimes here. A call would be totally understandable.
Brito does call and loses another sizable pot.
I hear you, buddy. That is annoying. If it's a club, maybe you get away. Random king, tough to know your beat.
This has been a great session for Jonathan West. And Vladimir Brito ends day 3 an above average stack, but he is not the powerhouse that he once was. In fact, he has dropped out of the tournament top 10, while Jonathan West moves into 5th place with a stack of 765,000. 2 players have cracked the million mark, David Peters and Carl Stark, and it's Stark who leads the way heading into day 4 of the PCA main event. Next time, Vladimir is still in the great game and up against House Stark.
Hello.
While Boeree is out for blood.
Come on, folks. Give us some action. Straight hand. Get it in. Vamos!